Some of the specific challenges that my son was facing was his inability to communicate. One of the things that was a huge hindrance to his growth was nobody decided, hey, maybe we should have him tested for a speech impediment. They automatically assumed maybe he had autism, but in meeting Rachel, she felt like it was more deep-rooted than that. And she suggested that we go back to the pediatrician and ask for a referral to a childhood psychologist. And from there, they were able to run some additional tests and come to find out he had transitional anxiety that stemmed from his speech delays. I first started to notice some issues when he was 3. He sounded like he was speaking in rewind or fast forward. And so he was acting out because he couldn't communicate, what some of his issues were. When I started seeing some of those challenges and those reports coming back from some of his preschool classes, I knew then that it was deeper than what they were saying, and I didn't want him to be stigmatized, especially as a young African-American boy, like he was a troublemaker when I knew it was medical. The only person who had any availability inside of 6 months was Rachel. She was relatively new. Upon meeting her, I realized that, she really had a heart for children. This was a passion. But what I noticed immediately was how fast he progressed. There were little subtle things that she did and that she said and that she noticed that were nuances, such as whether he had expressive delay. And ultimately, she determined that he had a processing delay. So a lot of what looked like just a pause was him really trying to take the information, decipher it, and then articulate that. So I started noticing as she tailored his programs to reflect the type of speech delay he had, his communication skill set started getting much better from there. But I noticed that when he could communicate better, there was less of a need for him to be hyper, there was less of a need for him to act out. He was able to sit still because he could say, hey, I'm not feeling well, or hey mom, this person is messing with me, things like that. And just his overall behavior, and it went from this timid kid to this shining star. The Peds team culture definitely puts first a children first mentality. Because the children, especially my son, knows that he's first, I think he's eager to please, he's eager to show the progress, he's eager to kind of show his understanding. I mean, you can tell it, you can see it in the results, and you can definitely feel it as a parent. And she absolutely knows that the way I feel and how I feel about her team is that I never have a worry about my son. I go and sit in the car half the time. I don't worry about anything.